It is now time for TNA One Night Only Sacrifice. See, I told you that I was going to try and get back behind this series, and that is exactly what I'm doing right here, right now, as it is. Sorry, my phone, I guess Siri thought I was talking to her. Because my phone, started recognizing my voice, and, well, Siri started repeating back what I said. Or was saying, and that was quite creepy, because that's never happened before. But, either way, we jump back into, we go right into it, full steam ahead. It's time for One Night Only Sacrifice. And we got some big surprises planned for tonight's event, so let's jump right into it and get going. As the opening match of the pre-show, on the pre-show, sees 2 or 4 tag teams collide against in an 8-man tag team match to get them to maximize the amount of people that are featured on this show. And as you can tell, you had Acid Jazz, Bryce Benjamin, Harry Smith, Lance Hoyt, The Flyer, The Technician, and Crime Time. And Jazz and Benjamin and Hoyt and Smith are the victorious 8-man or 4-man combo in this first pre-show match. And then we move to a battle royal, which is won by Bobby Roode, which if you want to know what the winner of this battle royal gets, then you'll have to tune in to this Thursday night's edition of Impact Wrestling. Because also, as you can see, Eddie Edwards put in a very, very good performance, as he was not only one of the final 4, but of the 15, he was the final elimination and also got the most eliminations over the course of the match. So, in my opinion, that puts forth, or that shows just how good of a performance Eddie Edwards put in tonight's 15-man Battle Royal, which, by the way, you can see all the members of the Battle Royal right here, from Bobby Roode all the way to Rockstar Spud. They're not pictured above, they're written right here, where the cursor is. And then we move to the third and final pre-show match. The only reason why this match is happening is because Kong has not and will not compete in the near future due to just not really having much for her. Yes, this might be cause for, dismissal, but we'll see what happens. And now we move to the opening of tonight's event with Mick Foley welcoming the fans to his first pay-per-view event as the, I guess you could say, commissioner of TNA Wrestling, because Mick was named commissioner back in February at Champion vs. Champion, and this is his first event officially in charge of TNA, and he promises, over the course of hyping up the main event and the 6-man tag team match between the Hardy Boys, James Storm, and versing EC3, Rob Echoes, and Bram, we hear Mick also hype up a big surprise for the main event tonight, as much like on Thursday night, it's going to be a surprise that you never saw coming. And yes, I am referring to Edge showing up on Impact Wrestling last week in the opening segment with Mick Foley. What's Edge's future in TNA? Well, you'll have to wait and see. Was it a one-off appearance? It might be, but once again, I'm not going to spoil it. So, and yes, the surprise is on the level of Edge. But it's an active wrestler, not a retired one. So we move to the first match here tonight, as it apparently sees Mr. Anderson sustain a costovertebral joint sprain. Why can't they just say he sprained a muscle? They don't have to be that specific. God, not all of us are. They don't have to be that specific. It's Either way, Mr. Anderson won and retained the TNA Heritage Championship against Tyrus. Yes, you may say, "Oh, this is the best time to make Anderson drop the belt." Tyrus has just been underwhelming, in my opinion, and he really hasn't shown me that he can do a better job as champion, or as good a job as champion as Anderson can. So that's why I let Anderson keep the title. Thank you, Al. I can see he sprained the muscle. The only plus side about Anderson spraining the muscle is Tyrus wasn't responsible for the injury. And I know that because if he was, it would have came up as Tyrus caught heat backstage for being responsible for the injury. But either way, we move forward to the next match. Wait a second. We move backstage prior to the next match, with Jeremy Borash standing by with his guest at this time, The Prodigy. And The Prodigy goes over what he told Mick Foley on Thursday night, saying that if Mick does not find him real competition, then Mick will live to regret it. And now The Prodigy's making his way out to the ring to face his competition for tonight, and it is Chris Sabin. And once again, The Prodigy keeps his undefeated streak going, and he defeats Chris Sabin in his pay-per-view debut here tonight at Sacrifice. And of course, we head backstage now into the locker room, where EC3, Bram, and Rob Echoes are strategizing about the match tonight between the TNA Veterans and the TNA New Blood. As EC3 says, that tonight is when we kill the old legacy and we start anew with the new legacy for TNA Wrestling, where we are the leaders. This is Step 1. Step 2, the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And all of them are just going along with it, agreeing with what he has to say. And you just see a sick smile come across the face of Bram, like he's going to enjoy beating the holy hell out of James Storm, Jeff Hardy, and Matt Hardy. But this is the biggest experiment right here in this match between Gail Kim and Taryn Terrell that I have ever done. In any Let's Play series, or how I would book it for that matter. And that is because this is the first time that two women have competed in a match of this variety. See, Full Metal Mayhem is basically TNA's version of a TLC match. Pretty much. This is the first time, I think even in personal games, that I've ever let two women compete in a TLC match. Sorry, Full Metal Mayhem. So, I gotta tell you, I am very, very happy that the match got as good as it did. Yes, I will be honest that maybe, just maybe, some may think that I would have been happier if the match got a little bit better, or did a little bit better, but, I mean, it's the first time that I ever put. I mean, honestly, it's the first time I've ever done a Full Metal Mayhem match. But either way, it's the first time that I put two women in a TLC match. And in my opinion, I know of a couple of guys that if I put them in this match, they would get around the same rating. So this is my quest to prove that there is no match that, especially these two, will not compete in. If it means possibly becoming TNA Knockouts champion, which, by the way, because of the fact that she retrieved the item from the top of the ladder, from above, she is now the TNA Knockouts champion. That is, with that being said, Gail Kim has started another reign as the leader of the TNA Knockouts division. Following the match, Gail Kim is in the ring. Picture it. Gail Kim is in the ring, and Taryn Terrell's on the outside, just staring at Gail Kim with an angry look on her face, mad that she did not come out on top, mad that she could not defeat Gail Kim in the Full Metal Mayhem match tonight, and mad that she is the one who made the ultimate sacrifice because she is no longer the TNA Knockouts champion. And yes, before I get into this, I just want to say that as far as everything goes, that is the reason, that match alone is the reason why I chose to call this Sacrifice, because that is actually the only gimmick match that I put on this show. Now on to this match. This match sees the winner become the number one contender to the TNA they're not going to challenge the women. DJZ is not going to face Gail Kim. I know some people that would probably enjoy that, especially if Gail Kim wins, but that's not going to happen. DJZ once again gets an opportunity to challenge for the TNA X Division Championship. This time around, though, this will be the last time DJZ will challenge Tigre Uno, as long as Tigre Uno is X Division champion. And the reason why I made DJZ win is because I wasn't gonna make Crazy Steve win. Kyle O'Reilly just showed up, and Alex Shelley is gonna be needed for the tag team division, because following Sacrifice, everything changes, including the status of the TNA Tag Team Division. Oh yeah, and this happened. I'm not even gonna try and say that word, or whatever he got injured by, or with. But now we move to the next match, as it is for the TNA X Division Championship, as Tigre Uno goes up against Davey Richards, one half of the TNA Tag Team Champions. And Tigre continues his dominance over the X Division and retains the TNA X Division Championship in another solid performance. This time, the Tiger outdid the Wolf. See what I did there? And now we move forward as Manic goes up against Drew Galloway. And though some of you may say, oh, you're not booking Drew Galloway right, well then comment and tell me. Because I don't know what you're thinking if you don't tell me what you're thinking, because I can't read minds. Even though that would be fun, I can't read minds. Just imagine a gimmick where a wrestler, like the wrestler's gimmick was he had the ability to read people's minds. He would never lose, because he would always see the move coming. Maybe I'll make Manic a mind reader. I don't know. But Either way, Manic wins this random pay-per-view match between him and Drew Galloway just to give the upper card some wins and maybe, just maybe, open myself up to a future match between Manic and Kurt Angle. Imagine that. Manic versus Kurt Angle. Maybe for the TNA World title. But as we continue on with the show, now we shift our gears back to the TNA veterans as they are backstage strategizing about the six-man tag team match tonight between themselves and EC3, Bram, and Rob Echoes. I would let, because they're the veterans, I would give them the segment, and I would only tell James Storm to look over and say EC3's name, Bram, and Rob Echoes, and then finish the segment with, "Sorry about your damn luck." And now we head to the video package highlighting what is, in fact, one of the longest running feuds in TNA right now between the veterans and the new blood. As we head to the match, and the match sees another solid performance by Jeff Hardy with an 87. And actually, almost the weakest performance of the match came from Matt Hardy, but Bram took the cake on that one with a 50 in ring. Matt Hardy had a 58. But that's beside the point, because Bram, Rob Echoes, and Ethan Carter III get the victory in the six-man tag team match. And Matt Hardy takes the loss. The reason why it happened is because, well, I'll just leave it at this. Someone needs to become broken. Because, alright, James Storm may be on his way out. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, Jeff Hardy. And if you're looking at it in terms of real life, by far the most entertaining and talked about thing in TNA this year, 2016, has been Matt Hardy. And not because he is a heel, not because he's Matt Hardy, but because he is different. Because he is unique, and because he is broken. And that is why EC3 and the heels got the victory over the babyfaces, because Matt Hardy will be broken. And if you are still unsure what I mean, wait till Impact on Thursday and you'll know for sure what I mean. A little disappointed by the main event. A little disappointed. But either way, Kurt Angle gets the victory over Abyss to retain the TNA World's Heavyweight Championship once again for a second time, or in his second defense. But the show doesn't end there, because much like on Impact, when you heard an unfamiliar song come over the PA system, you hear that happen again, but this time there's pyro. This time there's pyro because I gave Edge a little bit of a different entrance to, not have WWE come out and say, "Oh, he's using our likeness. That is our gimmick. We made him the rated R superstar. He can't use it. He can't use it. His entrance, his likeness, everything." So I gave him a different entrance. But there's pyro to give it a different feel. And then all of a sudden you hear a sort of familiar tune. I was going to do it, but I can't remember how it goes. I hear it in my head, but I can't remember how it goes, because I'm thinking about his WCW theme, which WWE might not own, because Rey Mysterio Jr. is in TNA. Rey Mysterio is in TNA. You got it, baby. Rey Mysterio joins TNA Wrestling in the biggest signing TNA has accomplished in a very long time. And people may say, oh, Rey's had it. His run thus far in Lucha Underground says otherwise. Maybe, just maybe, Rey needed a break. And that's why it looked like Rey had it. Because he needed a break. And if I'm correct, Rey hadn't worked for WWE since late 2015, so that's a couple months off. And with that being the case, that means Mr. Mysterio could join TNA Wrestling and bring some new found attention and positive attention to TNA Wrestling. That is more than anything my point with this, that Rey brings positive attention to TNA and is a huge signing for the company, and that's why I made the signing to bring Rey Mysterio into TNA Wrestling. But the show goes to black with Rey pointing at Kurt Angle's TNA World Heavyweight title and doing the sign that he wants the TNA World Heavyweight title, and you hear in the background the old familiar voice of Mike Today saying, tune in this Thursday to see what happens next between Rey Mysterio and Kurt Angle. See you on Thursday. And the show goes to black, leaving the people wondering not just why Mysterio is here, but also, does this mean that we will be seeing one more time Rey Mysterio, Kurt Angle for the TNA World Heavyweight title at a later date? I guess to answer that question, you'll have to wait and see. Now, to answer the thing on the bottom, I know in the last video I said that I was going to turn that off because there is no reason to have it on, but I guess it doesn't count when you have two women's matches, one being on the pre-show and the other being on the regular show. I guess I needed both on the regular show. But by Impact, I will have it turned off, so it will not affect me in any way, shape, or form. I know, because I'm not focused on it. That's why I'm not doing it. It's not that, it's not that I shouldn't pay attention to it. It's that I don't pay attention to it because I'm not focused on it. I'm focused on stabilizing the company and giving Rob Echoes, people things to do, rather than just putting them on television for the sake of stopping that ratio warning from coming up. It's adding meaning and purpose back to the matches, rather than just putting the matches out there and letting them go out and just letting them be random matches. Yes, I know Manning versus Drew Galloway is, but think about it. Is Manning versus Drew Galloway really that random, now that you know the surprise? In any case, our popularity from this show increased in 27 regions. Wow. If it wasn't for the ratio warning, I would say that things are getting good in TNA, because also we got a 72, which may be close to, if not right around, the highest rating thus far. It is definitely the highest rating for a pay-per-view, if I'm correct. With that being said, I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comment section below, was this your favorite show for Impact, for TNA rather, thus far, or have I done one better in the past? And if I have, let me know which show you liked better and thought was the high point of TNA Wrestling. And also, let me know if you think that things are finally going in the right direction for TNA, especially with the signing of Rey Mysterio Jr. and what the future holds for Rey in TNA wrestling. But if you don't want to leave a comment, there are other ways to leave feedback, and that is by leaving a like or subscribing to the channel for more content just like this that you can only find right here at Wrestling Express. Till next time. Later.